Hi, it's Jodi. Episode 3 of the Daily Jodi. That was one of my two things that I came away from the EOL event this weekend. One of them was to do daily videos every single day, show up, and not just make a video for a group that I'm on or share with private people, but to actually make a video every single day that I put out totally public. And I decided they're all going to live on YouTube, on the Joy Love Bus YouTube channel. But some days, like today, I'll probably talk about some stuff that's relevant to a group and then post it there. But if you want to follow, if you're interested in the Daily Jodi, it will be all of them in one place on the YouTube channel. It's been a very interesting week. We went to Kyle Cease Evolving Out Loud last weekend, and it was amazing. Of course, it was amazing. Everything he does is amazing. But I've studied a lot of different things throughout my life, and the reason the Kyle Cease work resonates so much with me is because he is a really beautiful mix of spiritual enough, but not too spiritual, so you still get that practical application, how you can actually do these things in your own life to make change. And I have. I watch a lot of videos of his. I've gone to 2 of his events now. I've done a couple of his longer programs, like 3 and 4 week programs, where he actually gives you daily exercises. And so many people follow me and what I do now, and they're like, how did you get there? And a lot of it is I'm willing to do the work, plain and simple. And like today, I was thinking about, I'll just do a video for one of my groups, and then I'll just do a quick Daily Jodi before I went to bed. And I stopped myself and went, no, that wasn't what the point was. Not to hide. The point was to make a video and be totally public with it, because we are allowed to be human. We are allowed to have ups and downs, and there's no shame in the human experience. We are allowed to have days where we're scared. We're allowed to have days where we just don't feel good and we're not motivated. We're allowed to not feel perfect and 100%. And we're also allowed to feel great and have joy. And people need to see all of it. And I need to see myself and honor myself and my self-worth by saying, you know what? I'm doing this out in public. And it's funny, I was having a conversation today with some people on a chat, and one of my friends was like, I have this thing that I really want to do, but I'm really afraid. I want you guys to talk me into it. And I said, I'm hearing you're not trusting yourself, and I don't understand why you're not trusting yourself, because you have so much reason. You've done all these things. Why are you not trusting yourself to do this? And she said, well, I'm really scared I'm going to screw up. I said, are you kidding me? I've built this in my entire life of the last year by totally screwing up in public. Like, what are you afraid of? People love to see you screw up in public, right? So here I am, gonna get real tonight. So I went to this event, and it was really amazing because it was so obvious that he was so open, just open to being a channel for divine love. I felt like everything he said was specifically for me. And I talked to at least 8 other people who said the exact same thing. Like, every word he said all weekend was like totally to me and my experience. And so to me, that tells me that he was not in the way at all. There's no ego there. He was totally open to letting divine love work through him and use him to speak to each of us. And I think that's just so beautiful, and it just really speaks to, again, why so many of us follow his work, because there's such an integrity there, and you all know how important integrity is to me. And he started, just the first half an hour on Saturday was so deep, and he said things, totally different things, that Wyatt got out of it and that I got out of it, but both of us had massive, like, wow moments, like, in the first hour. And so, like, I did an entire weekend worth of evolving before lunch on the first day. And, like, I literally halfway through the morning had to go and, like, have a big cry about what I was going through. And what my big lesson and takeaway from the weekend is that I'm allowed to receive. I don't have to only keep giving to everyone all the time. I'm allowed to receive. I'm allowed to have boundaries. I'm allowed to sit back and watch people I love go through horribly painful things and not jump in and rescue them. Because the way I got where I am is by living through all of my own hurts and all of my own lessons. And if I don't let them have their own lessons, they're not going to have their own growth on their path. And then later in the weekend, Kyle talked about you have to let other people have their rock bottom. And I was like, oh my God, dude, that was like the entire evolving thing you gave me on Saturday morning. And now you're talking about this, like, more specifically. Oh my God, like, the whole weekend was like that. The whole weekend was like that. Like, and I keep seeing this happen so much lately. I've been following his work for so long. And lately, and he's talked about it, and other people that I follow and that I'm associated with have talked about this too, how when you'll hear something, or you'll become aware of an idea, and then later that day or within the week, you will hear 3 other people totally unrelated to each other bring up the same item. And particularly with his work, that's been happening for me a lot. There was one day when I was missing one of his calls. I was out to dinner with someone, and we had an entire conversation about my experience that afternoon driving. I got this clear message about surviving and how it's time to stop surviving and start thriving. And then later that night, somebody told me, oh my God, that's exactly what he talked about tonight. And then the next week, I was out to dinner again with the next person we were seeing on the road, and we had a discussion, and I said, you know, one thing that's really helped me a lot on my journey is thinking of our life in this world as a video game. Like, think of Earth and you being born into your human body as you're becoming a character in a video game, and you're just playing this game. And the character will make certain choices, and you'll be like, maybe I shouldn't have played the game that way. Maybe I should make the character do this now. And it helps separate yourself and be the observer. And then that night, he was talking about something very similar on the call, and I was just like, oh my God. And what that shows me is I already knew that he was, like, you know, really connected to himself and really connected to divine source, receiving his own messages for his own life. And now it's just more confirmation that I'm so tapped into my creator and my source and my life on a whole new level. I think a lot of people have been noticing my videos lately. I'm so much calmer. I used to be a lot more hyper. And I've been thinking about that a lot too, because I went into this weekend and this whole experience with no expectation. I was totally open. I was like, you know, God, here I am. You've changed me so much in the last year, and I have no expectation. Like, that's how we did this whole trip, literally. Like, most people would have gone like, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I can't make this cross-country road trip. And from the very beginning, Wyatt and I were like, no, we believe we're supposed to do this and have this experience, and we're going to trust that our needs are going to be met all along the way, and we're going to have money and time when we need it, and we're going to make the right connections. And there have been so many beautiful, miraculous things that have happened since we left Virginia on June 2nd. It's been amazing. It's just totally been amazing. And so I went into this whole weekend with a tremendous peace and no expectation at all. The only thing I knew was that we were parking on Thursday. We had already had that RV resort booked and paid for, and I knew we were going to arrive on Thursday. and we were going to show up at the pre-party that someone planned on Friday, and then we were going to show up at the event. And it was like literally the only expectation I had all weekend. And I think partially because I was so calm and so open, and partially because I was so exhausted by the time we got to the event, that I was just totally, like, I didn't have that mind barrier in the way. And so when he came out and he first started talking, like, I was just totally open and totally receptive, and like I started having massive, like, healing and emotion and release, and like, oh my gosh. And then first, you know, something hits you and you just start having this whole emotional reaction. And then when you let the emotions flow and you just like stay in it and just be like, all right, I'm having this is happening, I'm bawling my eyes out, I'm realizing this, I'm realizing that, it passes if you just let it happen and feel the experience as it's going on. It passes much faster, and then you get to the part where you start understanding. Okay, now I understand what that means. Now I understand what that means looking forward and continuing on my journey, you know, going forward this week, this month, this year. I understand what this is, what myself is trying to tell me. And it was amazing. It was just like so many things that I had to learn. As I've learned in the last year, that I started to say before, I was so hyper when I first left my job and I first was in it. Like, okay, now you've done it. Now you've left your job. You've left your apartment. You're like, you're in it. And I was very hyper. Very hyper. Like, I remember when I went to the last DOL, I was like so excited and I was just exuberant and I was just like, oh my God. And I let so much of that excitement out the first day. And then the second day I was just exhausted, just totally done, exhausted. And I didn't dress as nice. I just like showed up the second day. And then like, and the second day of the first time I went, I had like let go of all my expectations by the second day. And I just showed up, and like so many weird things happened that I didn't expect. And then just from after having had that experience, then like being out of work and not having the money lessons yet that didn't come until this spring. And last fall I had like some severe lack and just, and then I got my RV and my truck, and like I grew so much from that experience. And then I had my first time in January having my own coach, and that stretched me and that grew me. And like this whole almost a year now, I've just been just constantly just being willing to just go, just trust. You know, first it was go, 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 go and do too much. Then it was lessons of, okay, now you're supposed to just sit out. Like I literally heard the universe say, you need to sit still. And I would sit there and I would watch all these other people like adding members to their groups and doing videos and doing all these things. And I would be like, but they're doing. And the universe just kept telling me, no, that's not you. Like your job is to sit still and shut up and chill out. And I really listened because I kept getting that message over and over and over. Just trust, just trust. You're supposed to allow, you're supposed to allow. And like I spent the entire month of April, like literally just going, all right, you know what? If nothing's different in 30 days, I'm not any worse off. So I'm just going to take April and I'm just going to chill the fuck out. And I did. And so much amazing growth came out of that. And like, wow. I can't even believe it. And so then after 30 days, it got a lot easier to trust and trust and trust. And the more you allow yourself to be in your body and say, you know what, I'm a person, I'm a human being, I'm having an experience in this life, and I'm here to feel the feelings and do the things and not do the things and be present in the moment and learn gratitude and learn manifesting and all these different things that I've learned. And I have such a deep, deep peace in my core. And I'm just so different now. So different now. So my lesson the first day of the event in the morning was that I can't keep rescuing my children. I can't, like, every time they have a problem, I can't jump in and fix it. Like, they're adults and I need to let them be adults. And even though they're doing all the same things I was doing in my 20s, like, that's the point. Like, they're doing all the same things I did in my 20s. And it's painful to watch because I know what I had to learn that took me into my 30s and into my 40s to learn. I'm 48, almost 50. And like, they have to learn the same lessons. They have to learn that brokenness will not kill you. You will still go on and you will be bigger and better and deeper and stronger from your brokenness. And you will be more beautiful as a human being because of your brokenness. And now my job is to sit back and watch, and it's really scary. It's really scary. Scary enough to have a meltdown in a public place on Saturday for 15 minutes, and like, oh my God, I was crying my eyes out in a hallway outside the theater, just sobbing. And it was so healing and so freeing to have that experience. And then after the event, we left on Monday. Our RV resort was paid through Monday morning, and we had to leave. And we hit the road, and we had kind of a plan, but we were so tired and fried. The first night, we went like 100 miles. And then the first night, we just stopped like at a Walmart or something, and we were just like done. Like, just, oh my God, we're done. We need to just sit here. And so we did. And then the next day, Tuesday, we went to put gas in our tank, and we realized that we were almost like literally at $8 in my wallet. Like, that was it between the two of us. And I was like, oh my God, when this tank of gas runs out, like, we're done. Like, we're done. And it's funny because it's only a few days ago, but I had to have a huge lesson that my worth is not my money. Like, my worth is not tied to what job I have, how much money's in my bank account. And I've already had that lesson so many times in my life that I didn't think I needed to learn it again, but there was a deeper layer. And I needed to learn it. And I had to pull my big girl pants up, and I had to ask for help. And what I learned was, it's true, I had already realized that my worth was not tied to money. That's what I thought the lesson was. And then I realized, no, you know your worth is not tied to money. You know you're Jodi Evans. Come on. What I realized the lesson was that I don't let myself receive. And that's tied into the self-care, how I'm not good about self-care. I don't even make sure I eat when I'm supposed to. Like, seriously, I've got to stop. Like, I need to fill my cup. And so my lesson was, the whole all-encompassing lesson of all the different smaller lessons I learned throughout the weekend was that I need to allow myself to receive. I need to receive my own attention. I need to receive my own love. I need to receive money. I need to receive work. Whatever it is I need to learn to receive. And it was a really beautiful lesson, because the moment I opened up to asking for help and getting over I'm supposed to have this down and I'm supposed to know what I'm doing and not need help, as soon as I got over that and I asked for help, I manifested all kinds of crazy shit. Oh my God. Like, I manifested money, and I manifested new coaching clients, and I manifested like so much. Oh my God. Like, unbelievable. And then, because we have been going through that together, Wyatt learned his own lessons through this whole thing, and he's had his own evolving and feeling his emotions and understanding who he is and what's going on. 2 days later, he manifested all kinds of amazing stuff. And so now, the other big lesson. So we left January 2nd. January 2nd. June 2nd. I can talk. I'm not exhausted. It's not 1 a.m. The other huge lesson for us has been like since June 2nd. So what is that, like 26 days or something, 27 days? I don't even know what day it is. Imagine 2 people in an 8x20 box. Imagine if someone took you and your partner, or if you don't have a partner, imagine like a sibling or your mother, somebody you really, really love, somebody you adore. And imagine if somebody stuck you in a box with them and didn't let you out for 4 weeks. That's literally what our life has been like. Like, I don't care what relationship you're in. Like, nobody wants to be together 24/7, nonstop in a box for 4 weeks. Like, it's literally like amazing. Like, I keep joking about it every day. Like, it's amazing that we are doing so well, because it's a big test of your relationship. And we've had a lot of lessons, and it has been the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. It's been amazing, amazing. And there have been so many times when we've gotten on each other's nerves, or we've just yelled at each other, and there have been times when we have just been like, ah. And because we're stuck in that box, we have to then have the conversation. And then we have to discuss, okay, well, this is what I was feeling. What were you feeling? Why did you misunderstand what I said? Why did I misunderstand what you said? What does this really mean in this moment? What does this mean for our relationship? Like, it's been like not group therapy. Like, it's been like, oh, I'm so tired, I can't talk. It's been like relationship therapy on steroids. And it has been beautiful, just absolutely amazing. And we've both had like more tremendous growth from that part of the experience of like being in a box together for 4 weeks. Like, ah. So yeah, just everything about this has just been so good, so good. And yeah, we've had times when we were exhausted or just fried from the whole experience, or just like dehydrated and hungry and just like but we get through it and we learn from it, and it's been so beautiful. And that's the thing. That's why this daily video project was so important to me, because we're human and we're having a human experience, and all of it is totally normal, and there's nothing to be afraid of, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. And we literally just wake up every day and keep going. Like 7 billion people on this ball hurtling through space. Like, we all just wake up every day and do the best we can until we go to bed. So how much better is it when we stop caring about all the nonsense and just freaking live? You know, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. I've been so present in the moment. I think today it's been happening more and more and more, where it's just so easy to be in the moment. But today in particular, all day I've just been so present in the moment, and just feeling and noticing what I think, and noticing everything around me, the sights and the smells and the sounds, and it's really beautiful. And I've had so many people, like, talking to my son and talking to my friends and talking to people that like just want to connect. It's been really beautiful. Today I've had a lot of conversations with people who just want connection. They don't want anything from me, and I don't want anything from them. We just want to connect and just be human together. And it's been a really beautiful day. We're still in Nevada. Today, I finally got to shower. I finally got to do dishes. Wyatt and I each did some dishes. We got to sort of mop the floor. Apparently, Annie got up early and got sick, and so he mopped the floor, which was really awesome. Not that she got sick, but that the floor is clean. I got to do normal stuff today. Like, I got to clean my bathroom sink and my toilet like a normal person who has a home. Like, when you're on the road, it's crazy, and you don't get to do those things. And it felt so good to wake up parked and know that we were going to be parked again tonight and just, like, do chores in our house. Like, it felt so good. Oh, my God. So, yeah. Episode 3, The Daily Jodi. Just being human. Feels good. Feels good. I'm so blessed. And so are you. We're miracles. We're walking miracles. We're so lucky to be breathing, heart pumping blood, lungs breathing oxygen. Like, it would just take a minute and think about the miracles that we are. Like, we have a liver, we have kidneys, like, we have things happening in our body and in our mind, like, all day long and all night long when we're sleeping. Like, our bodies just keep working. What a miracle of life. And feelings are part of that too. And feelings are beautiful. And sometimes people stuff their feelings and they're so afraid, and they don't need to be. Because if you stuff them and they start to come up, you get scared. You get scared when you're sad or you're depressed and you think it's going to swallow you whole and you're going to die. But I promise you won't. It's just feelings. And you can feel better in 2 minutes if you just let yourself feel and let yourself be in the moment. And I mean, right now I'm making this video and I'm sitting here and I'm looking out at a little patch of grass, and there's a flag that's like just flowing in the breeze, and I can hear crickets. And I look around and there's all these RVs that have their lights out, and I imagine all the different people sleeping in their beds, and life is so beautiful. We don't need to keep making so much of everything. It's okay to sit still and just observe and just enjoy the moment. We're allowed. We're allowed to be human. We're allowed. I'm really enjoying this video thing. I really am. Have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow.